Part 1. Stonemason Blood and the Birth of Soul Midwife Mission. Inside Golden Athens. To understand the true greatness of Master Socrates, we must hear sound of chisel hitting the stone. Inside Athens city, 5th century before Common Era, Socrates was born. Year 470 in Alopesh, small district nearby. Father named Sophroniskos, a skilled stonemason. Mother named Phenerete, an experienced midwife. These common roots shaped his philosophy. More than books, Socrates spent youth continuing father work. On Acropolis Hill, carved the statues, named the Graces. Standing near Parthenon, sculpting taught him a deep lesson. Truth is not added to things, but stripped away, removing rough parts to show beauty hidden inside stone. Philosopher task is removing the vanity, showing soul gem. Mother profession influence was more profound. Called his method, named the Myutics. Art of midwife, claimed he had no private wisdom, cannot pour knowledge from one brain to the another, like filling pots with the water. Instead believed soul, already pregnant truth, needing an assistant. During painful birth of ideas, Socrates used questions, helping his partners, overcoming cognitive pain, finding inner light. Education back then included music gym and literature works, but his mind, early attracted by nature physical laws, from masters like Anaxagoras and Archelaus, but soon felt deep disappointment, because physics failed to explain how humans live a virtue and good life in world. Pulled the philosophy from distant stars, back to squares, back to markets, and human hearts. Not caring about universe material elements, but caring about nature of justice, virtue and truth, achieving soul peace. Among the bustle, Socrates did not look like nobles, having bulging eyes and flat nose, compared to Silenus, rough forest god, but inside him laid divine treasures of ethics. Walked bare feet through 4 seasons, wearing old cloak, training the self, mastering physical needs. Believed fewer desires leads to gods, to godlike state. Spent many decades observing Athens life, preparing for mission, hitting the wall of ignorance. Part 1 shows Socrates made of rough material roots, sculptor eye and midwife heart and soul warrior mind. Formation proved that wisdom starts from sharp chisels, hitting fake dogmas, not building clouds, building the self, ready to challenge elite power, changing Western thought, forever and more. Part 2. Steel warrior and the battlefield soul, shaping the mind. Through the war, many people imagine Socrates as old quirky man, arguing at markets. But historical facts recorded different Socrates. Brave hoplite warrior, heavy infantry soldier, with extraordinary endurance, beyond human limits. To understand why his thinking iron, we must see his military years. During Peloponnesian War against Sparta army, Socrates was not a mercenary, joined as citizen, protecting the state. Despite being poor, he provided armor, heavy bronze shield, and long spear. Expensive equipment meant for middle class, showed high self-respect and social responsibility. Joined 3 campaigns, Potidaea and Delium, and Amphipolis battles. Every step there was real lesson, self-control and courage. His endurance at Potidaea front, year 432 BC, became living legend among Athens soldiers. In Thrace winter, ground was frozen. Most soldiers stayed inside tents, wrapped in furs. Socrates walked barefoot on the ice, wearing thin cloak, his usual cloak. This was not a show, but sole result, mastering the body, cold and hunger, just superficial things, not shaking mind. At Potidaea camp, he saved Alcibiades, famous young general, when he wounded middle of enemies. Socrates stood firm, using heavy shield, protecting young friend, beating all attacks, until rescue came. After the battle, generals offered medal, vibrant honor medal. Socrates refused firmly, giving all glory to Alcibiades instead, claiming virtue reward is the act, the virtuous act. Another amazing detail was total focus. During the march, Socrates stopped moving due to idea, standing like statue, thinking deep thoughts. From the dawn until late night, soldiers were curious, sleeping near him, watching the master. How long standing? Until next dawn. Socrates prayed sun, then walked away. This sole focus showed energy level, where time-space had no meaning, separating the mind from physical world. Foundation for inquiry. In later years, Delium battle year 420, 24 BC, showed scary calmness. Before the death, Athens' army defeated, running in chaos. Socrates and Laches were last retreating, while others screamed, running in panic. Socrates walked majestically, observing around calmly, like walking streets. His calmness huge. Enemies dared not to attack. General Laches said, "If every soldier brave like Socrates, Athens never failed." True courage is not blind madness, but reason clarity. Facing the destruction. Part 2 ends with Socrates returning, carrying blood experience. Years of spear tempered his spirit, fearing no power. War taught him fighting outside enemies, just a part. Bigger war is fighting inside fears, inside soul desires. Hoplite steel discipline prepared him well for new war, not using swords, but using questions, defeating the ignorance. Inside Athens city, philosophy is not intellectual play, but life battle, protecting the integrity against prejudiced darkness. Part 3. Delphi Oracle message and the paradox. Paradox of wisdom, searching the truth. If military years tempered his spirit, The Delphi event started his philosophy, mission for humanity. Friend named Chaerephon traveled to temple of Apollo, at sacred Delphi. Asked the Pythia, asked the priestess, is anyone wiser than Socrates? The god answered, no one wiser. This message shocked the master. Socrates felt confused, felt deep doubt, because he knew, knowing clearly that, possessing no wisdom, no divine knowledge, within his mind, why did God of truth, claim this paradox? To decode meaning, Socrates started journey, finding wise people, politicians and poets, and master craftsmen, testing the message, proving God wrong, or finding truth hidden in words. First met politicians, rulers of state, having powerful appearance and great knowledge. But Socrates realized bitter fact. They used rhetoric, manipulating the crowd, but knew nothing about justice, nothing about virtue. They thought knowing, but actually ignorant. Socrates left thinking, I am wiser, at one point, knowing my ignorance, while they not. Then visited poets, creators of art, hoped finding wisdom inside their works. But poets sang by inspiration, not by reason, failed to explain their words with logical mind. Artisans had skills, mastery in crafts, but fell into vanity trap. Thinking professional skill gives them right to judge great things, like ethics, politics. Their ego blinded the truth. From these encounters, Socrates reached conclusion, changing human thought. Oracle used him as human symbol. Divine wisdom is everything, while human wisdom is almost zero. Wiser man is like Socrates, recognizing the limits of his understanding, admitting total ignorance, is beginning learning. The Socratic paradox, foundation for science. Only when empty mind has space, receiving truth light. Mission changed forever, becoming Athens' Gadfly, questioning every person, sacred command God, wandering the squares, stinging lazy horse, the society horse, forcing reason motion, not for humiliation, but soul purification, tearing down illusions, truth not info, but stripping lies. Part 3 shows Socrates' truth warrior, using his ignorance, destroying the vanity. Delphi transformed him, stonemason to sage, founding the reason, testing every belief, through soul honesty, leading to light. Part 4 Midwifery of ideas, and the method, named Elenchus, birthing the truth. After Delphi mission, Socrates spent life perfecting his method, changing education face, named the Maiutics, art of midwife, proud of mother, named Phenerete midwife, claimed philosopher is like midwife, not birthing bodies, but birthing truths inside human soul. Socrates claimed that he was sterile of wisdom, having no answers to stuff others, believed true knowledge already exists inside, seeds buried deep under the dust of prejudice, Teacher task is not giving info, but using questions, helping the students, overcoming the pain, cognitive birth pain, birthing their own moral ideas. Midwifery art starts with Socratic irony, playing ignorant man, humbly seeking advice from self-claimed masters about moral things. If partner defined things loosely, Socrates asked more, based on their own logic. Questions like chisels, peeling fake layers, leading to maze, logical contradiction maze. Partner cannot escape. Process named Elenchus. Refutation and filtering. When person admits knowing nothing actually. Vanity chains broken. Birth begins then. Compared to stingray. Paralyzing the partner. Making them realize inner emptiness. Depth of method. Shifting the task. Seeking the truth. To partner himself. Not giving dogma. Because true knowledge has value only when tempered by self-inquiry. Neuroscience explains this. Stimulating brain plasticity through cognitive dissonance. When brain faces logical conflicts, it feels stress, forcing the reconstruction of belief, achieving new harmony. Socrates forced brains, leaving autopilot mode, entering critical mode, thinking for themselves. Midwifery not only destroying errors, after clearing ignorance, starts rebuilding journey, building new definitions, needed great patience, and soul compassion. Socrates never left them stuck, showed that admitting the ignorance is first step to wisdom, taught that ethics, inseparable from knowledge, unexamined life is not worth living here. Questioning about good and the justice is soul purification, living more freely. Part 4 shows Socrates' soul architect, not building towers, but building capacity, independent thinking capacity. Midwifery art broke knowledge monopoly of the Sophists. Truth belongs to brave people, facing their selves. Transformed the philosophy into living method. Liberation from shadows towards truth. Sun legacy still flows in modern education. True education is lighting fire, not filling pots. Part 5. The ideological war against the Sophists. Protecting eternal truth. Inside Athens state. During Golden Athens. Shaken by crisis of post-war values. Socrates was not only teacher, facing powerful group. The Sophists teachers. Cunning rhetoric masters. Wandering Greek states. Teaching rich sons. Using words weapon. Achieving political power and personal fame. While Sophists sold the knowledge, charging expensive fees. Socrates opened door to anyone seeking the truth, without charging penny. War between them. Not academic talk, but survival ethics. Utilitarianism versus noble human philosophy. Core conflict point was truth concept. Sophists like Protagoras and Great Gorgias preached the relativism. Protagoras claimed words. Man is measure of everything. meaning what right for you, and what profitable, is the truth. They taught youth, turning wrong right, through verbal skills, winning the debates, inside the courts. Socrates considered this soul corruption act systematic and dangerous, claimed truth eternal, objective and constant, cannot be changed by personal whim. For him virtue must be absolute, standard of universe, instead of tricks, achieving short gain. Socrates used Elenchus, stripping Sophists' ways, proved they sellers of illusions, not giving episteme, but selling doxa, in fierce debates, with Thrasymachus master. Socrates broke idea, justice belongs strong, proved seeking power, without the morals, leads soul destruction, and social collapse. Asked key question, if everything relative is good meaningful, how society survives? If everyone creates private personal truth, serving own greed. Socrates' struggle was effort-saving foundations against the nihilism and utilitarian wave. Lifestyle difference was also philosophical declaration. While Sophists wealthy, wearing luxury cloaks, sought by elite, Socrates kept simple life extreme, refused the money, regarded charging fees as selling soul, and barrier finding the truth, unconditional truth finding, proved rich man, not owning things, but having least desires soul, and high knowledge. Part 5 shows warrior Socrates protecting eternal values, fighting Sophists forced, sharpening his logic, preparing for Plato and Aristotle future, exposed empty words, claimed simple truth, even if painful, better than lies, steadfastness protecting truth, made him target for demagogues, leading to trial. Legacy is reminder, truth not manipulated, but lighthouse serving. Part 6. Private domestic life and inner Daimonion. The Gadfly mission. Inside Athens city. To understand fully the robust Socrates, we must see his private corners and mystic world, spiritual inner world. Socrates lived simply, extreme simple life, among luxury Athens. His street presence was philosophical phenomenon, but also challenge to social standards. Behind the master stood wife Xanthippe. History painted her as a shrew, angry and harsh. But looking deeply at historical context, Xanthippe was guard of reality, for a soaring soul. Like Socrates himself, she managed family, raising 3 sons in deep poverty, because her husband never accepted money for his teaching, never worked for any income. Her anger, if it existed, was natural reaction of a mother facing harsh reality, while husband cared for souls more than comfort. Socrates accepted marriage as a practice of patience and soul compassion. Learn from her, staying calm inside every life storm. Most mystic part was the Daimonion, inner divine voice. Socrates claimed that, since childhood days, heard a voice inside his mind, whenever he about performing wrong act. Voice never ordered. Ordered what doing. Only appeared stopping. Stopping from evil. Or bad consequences. Modern psychology view. Interprets Daimonion as sharp moral intuition. Crystallization of reason. Reaching autopilot level. But for Athens, claiming private god was risky act. Challenging city gods and social order. Affirming absolute autonomy of individual ethics. Daimonion was lighthouse. Keeping his integrity. Even when voice forced going against the mob. His philosophy mission. Using famous metaphor. The Athens Gadfly. Compared city to big horse. Noble but slow. Slow by fatness. And social vanity. Regarded himself as a gadfly. Small but persistent. Stinging the horse. Forcing reason motion. Not letting anyone stay in prejudices. Appeared everywhere now. From gym rooms to craft workshops. Asking hard questions. Making people confused. Self-examining their lives. This stinging act. Not from hatred. But deep love. Love for state. Believed society without critical thinking is heading destruction. His task was keeping reason fire. Burning every citizen. Influence was strong. Especially on youth. Attracted by wisdom. And free spirit. Plato and Xenophon. And famous Alcibiades. Were his students. Taught them knowledge. Not for decoration. But soul purification. Encouraged doubting dogmas. Searching for truth. But this relationship with young people made him enemy. Enemy of parents. And conservative elite. Feared free thinking. Leads to rebellion. Weakening the state. Failed to understand. Socrates taught being a human. Independent and moral. Part 6 portrays Socrates between worlds. Common and divine. Family and mission. Not perfect saint. But real man. Living by Daimonion. Middle of traps. Presence as Gadfly. Was a blessing. And a sentence. For Athens city. Proved that integrity has expensive price. Ready to pay. Protecting reason light. Private stormy life. And inner voice. Created robust Socrates. Ready for storms. Approaching Athens sky. Prelude to trial. The trial of the century. Part 7. The trial century. And apology speech. Defending reason integrity. Inside Athens court. Year 399 before Common Era. Became dark mark. In human history. Athens city pride. Cradle of democracy. Sentenced to death. Its most just man Socrates. Age 70 years. Stood before council. 500 jurors. Facing the indictment. Signed by MELETUS. ANYTUS and LYCON. Accused of crimes. Not honoring gods. Introducing new deities. And corrupting youth. Historical context shows. Ideological purging act. Driven by fear. And social hatred. Athens after war. Peloponnesian war trauma. And 30 tyrants. Searched for scapegoat. Socrates the Gadfly. Stinging their vanity. Became perfect target. Socrates' apology speech. recorded by Plato. Not begging mercy, not coward defense for saving life, but philosophical manifesto, strong and proud. Before the jurors, exposed the truth behind the charges, claimed his mission, given by gods, never giving up, questioning the truth, even facing death, used dialectic method, questioning meletus there, making accuser confused, publicly and logically, declared stone firmly, men of Athens, I love you, but obey gods, more than humans, until last breath. I never stop doing philosophy, awakening the souls. Would you choose painful light sun, or safe darkness? Deep wisdom shown, defining the justice. Inside the adversity, asked for punishment. Socrates shocked them, proposing free meals at the Prytaneum place for heroes, Olympic champions only, believed awakening souls. Greatest citizen benefit cannot be crime, punished or silenced. Extreme moral integrity, not being arrogant, but loyal reason, accepting minor penalty, betrays whole life, betrays his teachings, chose death sentence, not hating life, but hating life, without free thought. Trial ended now, with death verdict. Socrates won morally, accepted the result, told the jurors, death not worst, worst is living, with unjust soul, warned the state, killing him won't stop truth. More young gadflies will appear stinging. Trial exposed darkness of the mob, democracy ruled by blind emotions. Socrates' apology remains, eternal thinking lesson, truth often lonely, carrying expensive price, integrity of soul, middle of chaos. Part 7 ends. Socrates entering prison, carrying reason light, never backing down. Athens' trial was classic confrontation now. Ignorance versus wisdom transformed his trial into last podium, teaching human courage and truth price. Preparing Hemlock cup, not as victim, but as sage. Completing life stairs, entering the immortality of human thought. Part 8. The Hemlock cup and eternal legacy. Socrates' immortal spirit, shaping the world. Final days of Master Socrates. Inside dark cell, became most moving. Philosophical drama history. 30 days waiting for execution day. Socrates stayed calm. Extraordinarily calm spirit. Transformed prison room into noble school. Friend named Crito. Offered escape plan. Perfect money arrangements. But Socrates refused. Refused to run. Argued about laws. The social contract. Respected whole life. Regards city laws as nourishing parents. Breaking the law to save life. Betrays soul integrity. Taught that philosopher never puts interest above the justice. Death is test. Final consistency test. Between words acts. Fateful afternoon arrived. Sunlight on peaks. Peaks of Attica. Socrates prepared drinking the hemlock. In Phaedo work, Plato described this with absolute dignity. Socrates washed body, comforted weeping students, lectured about soul, immortality of soul, divine and indestructible, held the cup, very calmly now, like drinking wine, at a banquet. No fear within, no resentment felt. Calmness was liberation, mind understanding universe. Death is transition, releasing the soul from body disease, from sense prison. Final words whispered. Crito pay debt. Cock to Asclepius. Remember the debt. Asclepius God healing. People sacrificed animals. After being cured, Socrates felt cured from material weight, entering true life, life of soul, drank the poison, lay down calmly, felt cold rising, rising to heart. Death shocked Athens and the West. Accusers felt regret, facing public anger. But more importantly, death made Socrates a mortal freedom symbol of human thought. Legacy not books, but life lived, and death chosen. Founded Western ethics. Virtue is knowledge. Unexamined life is not worth living here. Dialectic method became core-seeking tool for all science. Student named Plato spent entire life recording master words, making him center of philosophy. Socrates' death made Plato realize political decay state, founding the academy, training wise leaders. Socrates sowed seeds, individual conscience seeds, power above laws. When laws fake. Part 8 closes. Life of sculptor, sculpting human souls. Died in prison, but light spread thousands of years. Taught that truth, never destroyed by violence poison. Integrity is wings, reaching the eternal. Became first saint of reason, mirror for thinkers, seeking meaningful life. Story is reminder, keeping the waking, loyal to Daimonion, highest human mission. Socrates' truth echoes, inviting us out of cave, living under sun, wisdom and justice, wisdom forevermore.